Hello, I'm James Desborough, owner and operator of Postmortem Studios, an electronic publishing company for books and gaming material here in the UK. I've worked from home for some time, on and off since the turn of the century, and for the past 15 years I've been self-employed, conducting myself and my affairs here in my home office. Recent circumstances mean that a lot more people are going to be working from home, telecommuting for the most part. This may signal a more permanent change in the way in which we approach work as we move forward into the 21st century. So it strikes me that it might be useful to you if I were to give some of the advice, some of the tips, some of the pitfalls that I've gleaned in some 15 years of working from home. There's a dirty little secret about working from home that nobody really seems to want to acknowledge, and that is that you can be a hell of a lot more productive working from home than you can be necessarily in an office. That isn't to say that all jobs can be replaced by working from home, but just that many of them are actually given a boost by working from home away from distractions. You may well find that you can complete a whole day's worth of office work in a morning working from home. Your bosses don't seem to want you to realise this, and you probably don't want them to expect this level of work, this pace of work from you when you return to the office. So be careful. Pace yourself. You don't want to create a huge degree of expectation in your boss, and they don't really want to acknowledge that things could be a lot better with you working from home. Humans are, after all, fairly irrational about these sorts of things. Now, the human mind can only really concentrate effectively upon a single thing for about 45 minutes at a time. It varies from individual to individual, but the science seems to indicate that it's about 45 minutes. So you should aim to break up your day that way. 45 minutes of concentrated work with 5 to 10 minute breaks to get a cup of tea, to check social media, just to do something else, to break it all up and allow yourself to concentrate for those periods. Human beings are naturally lazy. It's the fault of our evolution, so it can be tempting to just sit and vegetate on your couch or wherever else it might be that you happen to settle. And if you're unused to working from home, it can be difficult to get out of that rut. After all, when you come home from a hard day at the office or wherever else, you often just want to sit and veg in front of the television. Try not to do that. If you have a laptop that you can work from, you can move from room to room throughout the day, creating a different atmosphere, which can help you concentrate. And it will also help you avoid becoming one with your couch in a physical as well as a spiritual sense. Sooner or later you are going to have to get up and go out again, and you're not going to want to be as fat and sluggish as merely vegetating on the couch may leave you after as much as a month in isolation. Offices are already hotbeds of snacking and vegetative behaviour, but these problems just get ramped up when you're working from home. It's all too easy to trough your way through endless amounts of chocolate, crisps, cake, biscuits and other snacks without the judgmental eyes of your colleagues staring back at you as you sneak another pack of Haribo out of your secret snack drawer. At work, the opportunities to go and snack and the presence of food is generally a lot lesser, unless it's Jane from accounts' birthday and she's brought in a big box of donuts. So watch that. Try and stick to healthy snacks. Maybe keep other things as a reward when you've achieved some sort of goal. At first, it might seem like fun to work every day in your dressing gown or your pyjamas or your underpants or nothing at all, but you can get habituated to this, to not bothering to get dressed, to the point where you can forget and you can accept business calls looking like a naturist version of Grizzly Adams or answering the door to the postman in the Altogether. So be careful of that. It does increase self-discipline and put you in more of a working mindset if you do bother to get dressed. Surrealist painter René Magritte used to put on a full suit and hat, go downstairs and paint from 9 to 5, and if a Belgian surrealist can manage it, so can you. You're going to be spending a lot more time alone with your thoughts, and this can be a shock to a lot of people who are used to the hustle and bustle of the modern world and the constant incoming stream of information. So time alone to think can be extremely difficult. It can even drive you slightly mad. If you're anything like me, it can lead you to dismiss the rest of humanity as a bunch of drooling morons with no more right to live on God's green earth than a weasel. You can mitigate this with television, just not too much news, and you can also mitigate it by engaging on social media, but in a more curated fashion. Create a feed just of things that lift you up or interest you so you don't get too tempted to engage in arguments with your lessers. That can help stave off this feeling of misanthropy that cannot help but occur when you isolate yourself from other human beings and start to forget how to be tolerant and understanding and to pick up on important social cues. Too much is of course a very subjective term and is going to vary from person to person, but you're at home with a broadband internet connection, with nobody to watch and judge you, and you could, as a result, all too easily wank yourself into oblivion. And you could also discover just how deep your personal degeneracy really goes, and that may not be something that you want to find out. So, nothing can stop you, but moderation, or as a reward for accomplishing a goal, is a good way to go about controlling what could potentially get out of hand.